What up? It's your boy Martin from One Gulf FX. So a few weeks ago we were speaking about Nasdaq, and we have been, going through a lot of breakdown with students and people inside of our free group, So now that we took some entry on Nas, and we have just flipped a little account, so like a £20 to 1.3k. So we're just gonna take you through that video, and I'm gonna show you guys what I need you guys to actually do is pay attention to what we actually teach you in the video. And if you look on my left side, you can see,
damn,
that's the account there, from the 85 quid to, what I did was I did some scalp trades first, which brought it to 80 quid, and then after that I just hold some swing buys on Nasdaq, and now I already closed most of the profit. So let's see how this goes, let's see if we can continue to grow this account and see what's the future plan. What we're going to show you guys is how we actually flip £20 to 1 K on Nasdaq, right? So we was looking at Nasdaq, right, for the past few weeks, and what we saw, right, was price have been declined from since the all-year high. And if you follow us, we have been speaking about Nasdaq for the past few weeks with students, people in the free group, and so on, right? We was actually looking for NAS 100 to go long. So some time back I did a technicals with a video on TradingView. If you scroll back through our TradingView platform, you should be able to see it, right? So yesterday morning, which was, I think, was the 19th of April, which was the Tuesday, right? We did our technicals on NAS 100 where we did show an inverse head and shoulder pattern. So if you look at my screen right now, you can see on the left side of the screen, which is our TradingView platform, you can see where I brought down NAS 100. So you see where we have that retracement, and we normally know that head and shoulder patterns normally occurs when there's a reversal of a trend. So bear in mind, right, we have seen NAS 100 being bullish for so long. So you see all that bullish move, that's been years of bullish momentum. So all year on last year, when we hit that new high around November 2021, right, what we saw is that NAS 100 broke this trend line early January because it couldn't break past that previous highs, you know what I mean? So now we had that break, right? You can see all that decline that we had pushing back to 12k mark, right? So now that we're looking at NAS 100, we saw this pattern showing, right? So for those of you who actually follow me, right, I like to trade the market structure. So I've been looking at the structure of NAS 100. So when I do my markup, what I actually saw was this inverse head and shoulder pattern. So if you look at this pattern that we had, you see we have our left shoulder, we got our head, and we got our right shoulder. So from there, what we will be looking for is for buyers to drive price back into that neckline and broke this neckline of the inverse head and shoulder pattern, right? So if you currently look at this scenario where we have on the right hand side of the screen, you can see where I've marked out and I've explained everything. So where you will be looking for entries is if price actually broke this neckline. But however, I've already took some buys and already running in profit, so I would love to hold them and keep them break even so that you guys can actually see and like benefit from them as well. So you can see right there, as you can see that I'm actually showing you, it's a live account, right there. It's a live account, no demo shit that I'm actually gonna show you guys. So I just want to make sure that I'm showing you guys so you can see I'm currently up like 9k GBP, right, on NAS 100. So I just want to make sure that you guys are actually seeing my screen much clear so that you guys can actually see. So you can see similar setup on NAS 100, right? If you look at the current market structure of this, right, we got that inverse head and shoulder, we got our left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So you can see here, we can see that this is just like a head and shoulder pattern, which means if you all know that, if you follow me before, you should know what a head and shoulder pattern is. Just mean this is the opposite, which is upside down, right? So what you will be looking for is for price to break this neckline, and that's where you will look for your entry point. So for example, like how I already have buys onto this area, what I would do is break even. Once price break this neckline, then there is where I will be look to stock more orders, because one, that will give me more confidence that price is actually going to continue long, and follow my setup that I currently have on NAS 100. You know what I mean? So simple and easy educational content to follow, you know what I mean? So if you look at this setup, you can see on NAS 100 it's been bullish for the longest while. So we had that correction all year on this year, and now potentially we're gonna see price go sky high on NAS 100. You know what I mean? So this is a scenario, you know what I mean? Take notes. You know what I mean? I always say to people, take notes. These are really good educational contents that you guys can actually pay attention to. Take notes, you know, and follow before we kick into like start giving you the breakdown on the trade and the account. You know, I just want to say the account is up like $2,000 now. You know, so if you look on my left side right now, look at the left side right there, you're gonna see where price is actually trading at 2K. You know what I mean? So we already have 2K in the account. Sorry, not trading. So we already have 2K in the account. So, you know, let's see if we can grow that account to probably 5K. You know what I mean? Let's see in the future what we can do. So right. So what we come in to actually look at is breakdown Nasdaq. So Nasdaq, you can see after we did our technicals, was running really well. You know, so things was running really well, and then you can see on our trading view platform, price follow our setup. So you can see price is still currently at our right shoulder support area. You know what I mean? So price could possibly still go up from there, but however, this is why when you're a day trader, right, you need, and you're a technical trader, you need to understand the fundamentals behind the market, right? So if you look at Nasdaq right now, you can see Nasdaq here, we got our head and shoulder, right, that we was looking for, but you can see price price just broke below this area. You know what I mean? So if you look at the current structure, yes, price is still at the support, which however, this tells us here that price may potentially still continue long. You know what I mean? But however, you got to be aware of the fundamentals, right? So we already know that there's 100 company that track NAS 100 in the US, for example, like Apple and so on, right? Netflix, Google, Apple, etc. So like when those companies are not doing well, you're gonna find Nasdaq, you know, not doing well. You know what I mean? Simple as that. You know what I mean? So once you understand the fundamentals behind these, you can actually profit very easy in the market. You know what I mean? Because one, for example, Apple, right? I think their market cap is around 5 point something trillion. So if Apple isn't doing well, then you're gonna find, you know what I mean, Nasdaq not really doing well because they have a greater market cap value, you know what I mean, that can affect the indices. You know what I mean? So just be aware of that. You know what I mean? So just understand the fundamentals behind your technical. So what we come here to look at is the buys that we took in the week. So we're gonna go back to our 4-hourly and I'm gonna show you how I actually get in on my buy. Remember, we already highlighted this area as our major level where we're gonna look for price to respect and give us that inverse head and shoulder. So if you go back, right, what I want to do, I'm going to go back on my hour and we're going to focus on just this side of the chart only. So we're going to just focus on this side of the chart, you know what I mean? So we're going to go back to my 30-minute because that's where I've actually took all my entries on the 30 minutes. So one, you can see Nasdaq was giving us this bullish trend right here. So you can see price was going towards the upside on Nasdaq, right? So if you zoom in, you can see our first entry point was within this area when we bought this support, because after we had this major drop, I know we're going to be looking for some sort of correction in the market to either give us that correction or, you know, we was looking for price to actually push back into that neckline. However, price didn't, and it still haven't as yet. We never know. We still got Friday and we still got next week to see what price may actually do in this scenario. So if you look at the current structure of NAS 100, you can see these are our areas where we took all of our buys, and then you can see price actually break this trend line. You know what I mean? So that's how we know, right, that price already being invalid. You know what I mean? So after price broke that trend line, you know what I mean? Simple as that. That's me walking you through step-by-step guide with this. You know what I mean? So as price actually been broken, right, what we can possibly look for now is this. We can possibly see Nasdaq react like this, either retrace for a bit, you know what I mean, because since we got all this push towards the downside, we can possibly see a pullback, you know what I mean, because this is our first support, you know what I mean, so that's our first resistance that's going to be coming to play, which is that area. So you can see the price pull back and then dive lower, you know what I mean, and respect back into back into this low around March, you know what I mean, the 11th of March that we had this double bottom right there, February, March low. So if price broke that area, then we can possibly see that move lower on Nasdaq, you know what I mean. So keep an eye on Nasdaq. Remember, I said, listen to me clearly, if price broke this support, then there's possibility, right, that price is going to dive back into that low, you know what I mean? And if that low has been broken, then we're going to look for a massive decline on Nasdaq, possibly back into this area right at that 1007 22.7 mark area. We can possibly see Nasdaq, so be aware of that, and you know what I mean, focus on Nas for the next upcoming weeks, and you know what I mean, you can actually get some nice entry points, you know, and make some good profits, you know what I mean? So keep an eye on Nasdaq for the next upcoming weeks. Right, so what I'm going to take you through now is the fundamental side of Nasdaq. So if you look at the current fundamental that we had, let's check the date. This was Wednesday. There's so many platforms out there that you can maximize, you know what I mean, and take advantage of, like looking at your fundamentals, you know what I mean, and add them towards your technicals. So Nasdaq tumbled lower as Netflix and riskier shares underperform. You know what I mean? Dow and S&P 500 went higher, which is that's US30. They are saying go higher, but Nasdaq declined, right? So if you look at Nasdaq, so you can see right there, the Nasdaq index is feeling the wrath of Netflix down negative 37%. Remember I said, right? Once the market have a greater cap, yeah, it can affect on the index. So for example, Netflix, I'm not sure what their market cap value is, but they have a massive market cap value, so eventually that's gonna have a great impact on the index, which it can actually affect the index. And you know, other shares, other technical shares, right, was actually doing bad. For example, probably Google was performing well, Tesla and so forth. They are the actual stocks that actually move Nasdaq, because NAS 100 keep tracks of those, you know what I mean? So this is just a simple scenario and a simple educational content for you guys, you know what I mean? So like, you guys can actually see what we give to our students, you know what I mean? We actually teach them everything we know, basic, keep it simple, no simmy-dimmy, you know what I mean? So don't forget to check out our master key program, you know what I mean? Like, take advantage of our traders master key program, you know what I mean? So free, just sign up, deposit to our broker, Axie, and you know, that's our broker right there, Axie, you know. Click the link in the bio below. You're gonna see the link is below in this video, so click the link, sign up to the broker, you know what I mean, and you know, send us a message once you already made your initial deposit, which is $500 or £380, you know what I mean. Once you made your initial deposit, send us a message, and then you can be a part. You got a free course that can teach you the basic, you know what I mean, and give you that foundation to go step ahead of your trading journey for free for 2 months, you know what I mean. So take advantage of it. So you know what I mean, see you guys in the next video. Peace out.